Everybody thinks that serious businesses are only on LinkedIn, and that's why you run LinkedIn ads or you run Google search ads. But I'm here to tell you why actually Meta ads is a hidden gold mine for B2B businesses in 2026. And the reason is very, very simple, because there are 270 million monthly users in just the US alone, and there are 1 million businesses making over $1 million annually using the platform every day, and the average user spends 33 minutes a day on Facebook and Instagram. Just think about how many business owners that are your perfect ideal customer scroll through Facebook and Instagram every single day, and how many hours they spend glued to it, unwinding or checking in with friends. So they are not in defense mode, whereas on LinkedIn, they are in defense mode. They know that they're being sold to. They're in a professional mindset. So I can guarantee you that the CTO or the CEO of that big company that you want to reach out to and sell them your high-ticket service, they are on Facebook and Instagram scrolling through Reels, just like you are, and just like 270 million other people are every single day. So, let me break down the biggest myth here, which is that only serious B2B buyers are on LinkedIn. That is absolutely false. Where do founders actually spend their time every day? Not where they network, but where do they hang out? So, they don't hang out on LinkedIn. It's Instagram and Facebook. And like I said, your CFO, your CTO, your head of ops is still thinking about risk, budgets, downtime, and targets while scrolling Reels at night. And so buyers care on Meta and ignore you on LinkedIn, and this is why. They are in the defense zone on LinkedIn. So everybody is selling to them on LinkedIn, right? And it's incredibly expensive as well, and so hard to stand out. Everybody ends up sounding the same. It's this corporate, weird feeling. The BS detector of your prospect is at an all-time high because they know that on this platform, they just get sold to. And if you're honest, I can't remember the last time I looked at comments and I saw legitimate conversations between two human beings. It's all just AI slop. So on Meta, you still have people, real human beings, posting stuff every day. Their brain is relaxed. They think, what's interesting here? The hardest thing to do is to stand out and stop the scroll between a bunch of bikini pictures and a bunch of hilarious cats. But it's much, much easier to do that than it is to stand out on a platform where everybody's been sold. They've been primed to have their guard up, and all of the stuff you're seeing is AI slop. And so if you create stuff that feels like content and not just another ad, you're going to crush it. And the same thing that Sabri Subi does here is exactly what I'm talking about. So if we just have a quick look at some of the ads that he's running, he runs stuff like this.
You've probably been inside an Apple store 100 times, but I bet you've never noticed this. See this tilted display? Apple trains their employees to tilt MacBooks to exact.
So it looks like a native post within the feed about something that's interesting, that's like a newsworthy event, or it's like a... But look, this is a 24-minute ad.
Clear. This old iPad might... As soon as I head into these joints, there is stage presence and a real charismatic visionary. Steve wasn't just a CEO, he was a prophet. Right. And even to let anybody else exact same strategies to your business to dramatically grow your leads, your traffic.
So another common mistake that a lot of people make is that people are on Meta for 30 seconds at a time as they are on the toilet or they're waiting for the train or the bus or whatever. But how is it that King Kong runs a 25-minute ad and crushes it? I have seen some of the greatest marketers in the world currently running 45-minute to 1 hour long ads on Meta. So how are they able to do that if everyone's brain is fried and they're just scrolling through 30-second TikToks? You would be surprised at the types of people who are on Meta and the types of results you can get if you do it correctly. And look, speaking of which, if you want my help to do all of this for you and like top to bottom funnel build, ads management, all of that kind of stuff. Because the Meta platform, yes, it's getting a lot easier to use, but you don't have time to do all of that. Look, go to dopaminedigital.io, click the first link in the description, click this button here. It's going to take you to a form where I will audit your entire business. I will give you a 12-month growth plan delivered within 72 hours for free without getting on a sales call, showing you exactly how to implement these types of systems into your business so that you can print leads and calls and grow your revenue and finally reach your full potential this year in 2026, as opposed to just relying on referrals and going to events and like unpredictable things like content, or if you're sick of cold outreach or you're sick of warm outreach. This is what you need plugged into your business. If you don't want to do any of that and you want me and my team to come in with our expertise, our templates, our systems, and do it all for you, fill out this form, and if it's a fit, we can make a decision to work together or not. At the very least, you're going to get a 12-month growth plan for free that I usually charge $400 or $500 for. So make sure you go and check that out. Now look, the result is everybody scrolls past everything on LinkedIn. But when it's on Meta and it's done in the right way, you know, using some of the systems that we talk about and that we implement for clients, like they actually watch and engage. This is an incredibly engaging piece of content, and it's 24 minutes long, but it crushes it for them. And so oftentimes it's a little counterintuitive. And Meta is so smart, and it's finally caught up. Where I had a conversation with some founders the other day where they were saying that Meta is so smart that it's able to target people who are second and third degree connections of people. So my friend was saying that he's had calls with sales reps, and that sales rep is getting hit with his ads. I am shocked at how smart Meta is at connecting the dots of people that are similar. So no matter where you are, no matter like how you think you are completely different than everybody else, Meta has so many data points on you. It's outrageous, and it's no longer the 2014 version. It is unbelievably smart. So the old Meta was like you had to over-target and over-optimize and pray and hope. But the new Meta with the AI, the Advantage Plus AI does all of the heavy lifting for you. And so it looks for behaviors over job titles, as opposed to what it was before, where you could find like a really interesting niche or a hidden interest that other people weren't using, and you could target that. And these conversion patterns perform way better than just targeting demographics. And this is massive for B2B because buyers are human beings with patterns, and Meta's AI is just a pattern finding, a pattern recognition machine. And it is way better than you could possibly ever do. And so the learning loop is even more powerful, so it compounds over time. Your ad gets conversions, and then the AI learns why those converted, and then it finds similar people that are more likely to convert, and then it gives you more conversions, and then the AI gets smarter, and then it loops through again. And so all the time, Meta wants you to spend as much money as humanly possible with them, and so it's going to optimize your ad to get the best conversions possible. It's going to do it way better than you can do it. It wants you to spend lots and lots of money with it. That's the goal. And so if you spend all of this time manually targeting, you will probably get some decent results. But if you use the AI that's built into Meta, you're going to get far better results. Like on average, let's say you get 50% take rate versus an 85% take rate when you just leave everything mostly broad and let AI take over. And so what that means is that it frees you up to focus on the offer and the content and the funnel and all of the stuff that comes after acquiring the attention. Okay? And so the AI sees things like micro behaviors, device patterns, content engagement depth, and return visit timing, cross-platform signals. It's unbelievable what they have now to increase the likelihood of a lead converting. Also, instant forms, which used to be one of the most popular ways of getting leads, is no longer trash. So instant forms used to be garbage, but the upgrades now have made it a much smoother experience. Everything autofills, there's no friction. You can plug your CRM in, and so within seconds now you can contact that lead and you can do it all automated. And so this is something that we set up in Go High Level for everybody that comes on board. And like, you used to have to go through and fill out your name and email and all this kind of stuff. Now it auto-populates, and then everything is sucked into the CRM and then auto-directs them the correct messaging based on where they are in the funnel. And so you've got Metaform to CRM, auto-tagging and routed, and then notifications. And so you can book a call within 5 minutes now, and full attribution to the meta ad. And so the attribution is the only thing that isn't unbelievable. But if you're using something like Hyros, which is Alex Becker's ad tracking software, you will have exactly where each prospect came from, which part of the funnel they came in from, what's working, what's not, so that you can just adjust things. And so the result now is that a lead to call can be done within 5 to 10 minutes, which is unbelievable. So the B2B impact of that, if you've watched any of Hormozi's content, you'll know that he tells a famous story about a guy who he has unbelievable close rates, and he asks him what he's doing, and he says he employs his cousin to sit in a room with a phone in front of him all day, and he calls the leads within 30 seconds. He calls the lead within 30 seconds of the lead coming in, and it increases the sales by something like 80%. Right? So he pays him like 60 or 70 grand per year to just sit in front of a phone and wait for the 2 or 3 leads that come in every day and call them immediately. And so when you have the ability to do that, you have less drop-off, you have more sales, you have more leads that are ready and hot, and they are going to convert into clients much quicker and at a higher LTV sometimes as well. So faster response times means more money. Clean attribution means more money, means better decisions that you can make. So Meta no longer is just like a traffic source to fill the top of your funnel. It is part of your pipeline infrastructure, and it is a critical part. So think about it like that. Another reason is that Meta is a retargeting monster. So if you know anything about sales, you'll know that people don't purchase a high-ticket deal in one click, and usually it takes several days to several weeks for them to warm up to the idea. And by the time they're getting on a call with you, 60% have already decided to purchase. And so all of the systems and all the content and all of your profiles and your websites and stuff create the high perceived likelihood of achievement that gets them to book that first call. So there are multiple touches across multiple weeks and sometimes a month until they trust you enough to take that call. And Meta is really, really good at cheap, frequent exposures. So you can do things like video views, you can run carousels, you can look at people who have saved certain things, and it's supporting a surround sound strategy. So you might post on LinkedIn, they may visit a website, and then they get hit with a retargeting ad through Meta once they're pixeled. And so it's a fantastic way to take that intent that may sit at the bottom of the awareness pyramid and slowly move them up with education, right? And so Meta does this better than anyone else because they have more data and their pixel is more invasive than you could possibly imagine. So it can retarget people that have visited your pricing page. It can show them video testimonials, or it can retarget people that watch 75% of a video, and then you hit them with a case study. It can even target people that have opened emails certain amounts of times and then show them a demo offer. And it can also ask them if they've downloaded something in the last couple of months, remind them that you exist and get them to take some kind of high-value action. The pixel tracks everything, and you can easily create custom audiences, and this allows you to serve different content based on different types of behavior and different levels of awareness. And you let them come to you. So the result is qualified pipeline ready to buy. And so this is what it looks like in practice. Like Meta alone, good, but if you stack Meta with some other things like we do, then you become this triple threat, right? You become this omnipresent business that people cannot help but purchase from you because they feel like they see you everywhere and they trust you deeply. And sometimes it's on a subconscious level. They don't even understand why they want to choose you. But just because you have been in their face so often and you have helped them on some level, or at the very least, you just let them know that you exist, they're much more likely to take an action with you as opposed to somebody else. So it's super helpful if you have something that's a bit more commoditized. If they open up a cold email, this opens up the conversation. And then they maybe Google you, they check out your website, Meta hits you with a retargeting ad, you watch a couple pieces of organic content, you skim through their LinkedIn, they look like an authority, and all of a sudden, you got them on 3 different channels at 3 different types of, maybe even across different platforms and different devices at different times. And then you retarget, they fill out a form, and all of a sudden, they're a client. So it could look like they see an Instagram post and they're like, they think that's smart. Day 3, they see a Meta ad. They go, looks familiar. It backs up something that they saw previously, and it helps re-engage all of the feelings that they had before. Day 7, they get a cold email from you, and they think, oh, I know who this person is. They open it up. They read it with their morning coffee. Then they get hit with a retargeting ad, and they see a case study of you getting the result that they want with somebody that looks and sounds just like them. And then on day 21, they finally get hit with another ad, or they decide to reach out because of an email that comes in post the first open, and then they decide to book a call, and then they talk to you, and then they give you thousands and thousands of dollars. So cold emails feel warmer. Calls are way easier to close, and you get this feeling like they are a friend, or you are already a trusted advisor, so they feel like they've seen you before and you have things in common. It's unbelievably powerful, guys. And all of this proof is hiding in the ads library. So the hard thing about running cold email, warm outreach, and all those types of things is that it happens behind the scenes and you cannot see what your competitor is doing. But with the ads library, you can do that. And so you start to pick up on patterns and what works and what doesn't in your industry and what works for competitors and what doesn't. And everything is incredibly transparent. And so what you'll notice is that these patterns that will emerge, it's all founder-led, it's educational, it's long-term, it's not flashy, and it's not launch-based. And so like a lot of Iman Gadzhi's stuff, for example, which is a bit more B2C, launch-based. And so here are a bunch of examples, and we can look at the goat of goats, King Kong, and you can see that sometimes he runs 25-minute video ads, sometimes it's image ads. Right? You don't need a massive production company coming and following you around, filming this gigantic VSL. Some of the best ads that we've ever run have just been image ads, especially if you're a local service business or something like that. Image ads crush it.
Today, I'm here in Disneyland to expose the
Here's
exact...
a 33-minute video where it's a story. Here is a...
I used this funnel in 1067... You've probably been inside an hour.
24 minutes, retargeting ads, simple case study stuff. Like, these things work incredibly, incredibly well. And you can go and find your competitors and you can just look at what's working and you can adapt it to your niche. And so you don't need to reinvent the wheel or be incredibly clever. And I want to show you a couple more examples here. So you've got ListKit, which is a version of Apollo, you could call it. And so this chap...
How many leads could you generate if you reached out to 334,000 companies over the span of 14 months? That's what we did for our custom merchandise client in...
Okay, so interesting hook. It's founder-led. This guy is the founder of ListKit, and then they take you to an opt-in. Like, some of these funnels are so simple, it almost doesn't make sense, and you go, okay, but what's the catch? And you go, well, no. The catch is everyone tries to overcomplicate it. And if you just use Meta, sometimes it's difficult to get the results. But if you use Meta in conjunction with a couple of other things, you can absolutely crush it. And so this is List Kit. And then we have one here from Cole Gordon. Again, who is like one of the goats in the industry. Let me see if I can zoom in here for you guys. Well, let me open this up. Okay.
Here's what coaches and agencies think they need to scale their business. They think they need a fancy funnel, perfect landing page, perfect website, decent social media following, complex media buying system. They got to write a book, complex low ticket to high ticket value ladders, 9,382 testimonials, a marketing agency that you're going to hire that's going to build your entire business for you, or a complete untapped market with a perfect Alex Hormozi $100 million offer. Now look, some of those things will help, but if all you want to do is generate an extra 30 to 80 appointments in your business per month so you can take on more clients predictably and consistently, here's one simple and, dare I say, boring thing that you can do right now. Hire an outbound appointment setter and have them simply just call or message your leads on a daily basis. Now,
facts. Cole Gordon speaking facts.
If you're a coach, consultant, or agency, I want to rank some of this.
So, like, he's running 240 ads. And you can come down to the very bottom here, and you can see, okay, he started running. These are still active. These are still active. Started running them. This is still active, and he started running it in November 2024. So you can infer that it is the most profitable ad. Otherwise, why would he be running it?
I think somebody famous or something said, like, your values should be built in the founder's shadow or something like that. I'm probably butchering the quote. We have very much a team who everybody is in a phase of their life.
Anyway, Cole Gordon, fantastic job with his ads. And so why this is something that is going to be relevant for you in 2026. It's where these three forces collide, right? So LinkedIn ads are saturated. They're unbelievably expensive. People trust people, not brands. And so people are on Meta to connect with other people. People are on LinkedIn to extract. They're on LinkedIn to promote themselves. They're on LinkedIn to climb the corporate ladder. It is a weird, like Truman Show-like feeling where you've got all of these people with big smiles on their face, but really behind it, all they want to do is they want you to give them money and become a client, or give them kudos and put them on a pedestal, right? People are on Meta to connect with their friends, and they're on Meta to connect with content. Whereas almost every piece of LinkedIn content is thought as thought leadership. And so it's this very weird, selfish dynamic where it's like, look at me, look how important and impressive I am on LinkedIn. And if you want to put ads on that platform, go ahead. It's going to cost you hundreds and hundreds of dollars to get a lead, but you can do it significantly cheaper on Meta using some of the proprietary systems that we talk about and we install for you. So this is not just a trend, it's a shift in how demand is created. And so again, if you want me and my team to come in and install all of this done for you Meta ads system that's supported by some of the other branches of the AI growth engine that we build out, then go to dopaminedigital.io. Check out some of the case studies on the site. Like, this was an example of some ad stuff that we helped this creator triple their revenue and exit for $7 million with one of the best ads on Google. And a whole bunch of other stuff that you can check out. And so if you resonate with any of this stuff here, click this button. You will get a free growth plan delivered into your inbox within 72 hours, which is completely free without getting on a sales call. So if that sounds interesting, click the first link in the description. And thanks very much for watching, guys. Peace.